Family, friends, officers, and many others are joining together in grief. That's after Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Deputy Ryan Proxmire died yesterday afternoon. A gunman shot him during a chase over the weekend. The support has been evident since the moment it happened. Lights from dozens of cruisers lit up the sky overnight honoring Deputy Proxmire. We have team coverage now. Donovan Long and Brittany Flowers were in Kalamazoo County yesterday morning for you here on Daybreak. They continue that coverage now. Donovan, we're going to start with you and this huge show of support we've seen from people in the Kalamazoo County community and beyond.
Tracy, that's really what we have to focus on this morning, at least partly. That show of support is really going to be what a lot of folks out there are clinging to or start clinging to help them in this transition and this new reality that they are living in without Deputy Proxmire. And I know this is going to be painful for a lot of people, but we have to certainly, for context, talk about why we're here, how this all unfolded. Deputy Proxmire was shot while chasing a wanted suspect Saturday night. That shooting causing him to crash his car, but his fellow deputies continued to chase the suspect until he veered off into a field in Climax Township. Officials say the suspect then got out of his car and again shot at deputies. They fired back and they killed him. Meanwhile, a passerby found Deputy Proxmire on the side of the road in his cruiser and called 911. Medics rushed him to Bronson Methodist Hospital, where he died from his injuries yesterday afternoon. Deputy Proxmire served in multiple roles at the Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Office and the jail over the years. He was also a field training officer, a taser instructor, and a subject control and defense tactics instructor. And of course, a lot of people out there are going to remember his work in each of those roles. I want to bring in now News 8's Brittany Flowers. She's covering how folks are remembering him this morning and how they remembered him last night. She is live at Bronson Methodist Hospital. That's the place where Deputy Proxmire took his last breath. Brittany, let's focus on the light in such a dark time. Brittany, what are you hearing and seeing from people there?
Well, yeah, Donovan, we saw a huge showing of support at the Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Office, but that all started here. People came out and laid flowers. Officers drove past in a processional showing their support. Later on, a worship group came out. They were offering songs and prayers to uplift Deputy Proxmire's family and loved ones. And eventually that large crowd gathered at the Sheriff's Office. This included police, fire, EMS, towing companies, and family and friends of Deputy Proxmire. Several people offered words of encouragement, highlighting the importance of community in getting through a tragedy like this.
Well, our hearts go out to them, and our prayers. Of course, you don't understand why these things happen, and but really, our message would be to pray for peace and strength for the family.
Difficult to process this grief for the loved ones of Proxmire, and Kalamazoo County Sheriff Richard Fuller is asking the community, out of respect for his family, to just respect their privacy at this time as they work through this grief. Donovan, I'll send it back to you.
Brittany, I really appreciate you highlighting that aspect of our coverage. I do want to talk about how so many of our local community leaders and lawmakers are really offering their support and condolences. I want to bring in now a familiar face. A lot of you may know Tracy Hall. She's the chair of the board of Kalamazoo County Commissioners. Tracy, I got to ask you, what do we even, or how do we even begin to heal from this tragedy?
Thank you, Donovan. You know, one of the things that I've heard the sheriff say for years, even before I was elected, was that we're Team Kalamazoo. And so each time we have a tragedy like this, this happened to the city of Kalamazoo probably 10 years ago. We've had the terrible bike tragedy, the Uber tragedy. We had PFAS. We've spent the last year and a half dealing with COVID together, and we have been Team Kalamazoo. That resonates with me every time there's an event like this, and we're going to do what we do best, and we're going to do it together.
I know when one law enforcement officer goes through something tragic, the entire department and other departments feel that grief and that trauma as well. What do you say to our brothers and sisters in blue, especially to the ones in this community?
Well, first, on behalf of the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners, I'd like to offer my condolences to Deputy Proxmire, to his family, and our sheriff and our whole department, all of our deputies and everybody who works in and out of the sheriff's department, and in the larger community. This is, going to hit hard for nationwide, across the country. One of the things that is happening. So we're seeing how Kalamazoo rises up. Other agencies are stepping in so that our sheriff and his deputies can deal with this tragedy.
I got to ask you too, really quickly. What are your words of comfort that you can offer to so many people watching, to so many people who may have known Deputy Proxmire, who may be watching this morning? What do you say to offer them some sort of healing?
Donovan, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Certainly my condolences, and I'm sorry, but I know Kalamazoo. We're a special place. It's a special county. It's a special city, and we're unique. And together we'll get through this.
I think that's how we have to get through this together. That's the only way. A lot of prayers and support.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that, Tracy.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
of course.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Teresa, we'll send it back to you as you continue following this investigation and everything else that will come out of this particular case.
We'll keep checking in with you throughout the morning as well. You can follow along with our complete coverage at woodtv.com.